The rain was coming down in heavy sheets, blurring the neon lights of the gas station. Amelia's chest heaved as she stumbled toward the row of parked cars, her heart pounding louder than the thunder above. Her soaked hair clung to her pale face, and her trembling hands clenched the straps of her torn handbag. She kept glancing over her shoulder, because she knew he was still there. A dark shadow moved in the distance, and she could almost feel her ex's piercing eyes hunting her down. Desperation surged through her veins. She needed to disappear, anywhere but here. That's when she spotted a black SUV parked in the farthest corner, engine humming quietly as if waiting for someone. Without thinking, she rushed forward, her sneakers splashing into muddy puddles. She reached the car window, her breath fogging the glass, and whispered in a voice quivering with fear, "Please, can I hide in your car?" The stranger in the car. Inside sat a tall man with broad shoulders, his dark suit crisp despite the storm. He had an air of stillness about him, the kind that felt both dangerous and strangely calm. The man lowered the window slowly, revealing a sharp jawline and piercing green eyes that studied her like they could read every secret she carried. Amelia's heart skipped. She expected resistance, maybe even anger, but instead his voice came low and even. "Get in." The tone was not inviting, it was commanding. She hesitated for a fraction of a second before pulling the door open and sliding in, her wet clothes soaking the leather seat. Her hands were still trembling as she tried to explain. "I'm sorry, I just need to hide. My ex, he's looking for me. Please just drive." The man glanced at her again, something unreadable flickering across his eyes, then shifted the gear without a word. The car glided into the stormy night. The chase begins. Through the rearview mirror, Amelia caught sight of a dark figure running out of the gas station, waving his arms frantically and shouting. Her blood froze. "That's him, please go faster," she cried. The stranger's lips curled into a faint smirk, as though he'd been waiting for a reason to speed. The SUV roared as it surged ahead, splashing through puddles. For a few tense minutes, the only sound was the storm hammering the windshield and Amelia's ragged breaths. Then, finally, the headlights of her ex's car faded into the distance. Amelia sagged in relief, wiping tears from her rain-soaked face. "Thank you, I don't know what I would have done if—" She paused when she noticed his hands gripping the steering wheel with effortless strength, the veins in his arms taut beneath the cuff of his watch. Something about the way he carried himself wasn't ordinary. "Who are you?" she asked softly. The truth unfolds. The man didn't answer immediately. Instead, he drove them into a quieter part of the city, parking near an empty lot lit by a single flickering street lamp. He finally turned to her, his gaze unwavering. "My name's Damien," he said, voice still calm but carrying weight. "You don't want to know more than that." Amelia's brow furrowed. "What do you mean?" Damien's eyes held hers as he added quietly, "I'm not someone people usually run toward for safety. I'm involved in things you probably wouldn't approve of." It hit her then, the subtle tension in his posture, the way he scanned their surroundings, the quiet authority in his voice. "You're dangerous," she whispered, more in awe than fear. "I'm the man people fear," he replied flatly. "Some call me a mafia boss." A fragile trust. Amelia's first instinct was to leave, but the thought of her ex, violent, obsessed, unwilling to let her go, kept her frozen in place. Somehow, sitting next to Damien felt safer than facing the man she'd run away from. Over the next few hours, as the storm raged on outside, Amelia slowly opened up. She told Damien about her past, how she'd been in a toxic, controlling relationship with Victor, a wealthy man who saw her as his possession rather than a partner. She had tried to leave many times but was always dragged back, until tonight. Damien listened silently, his eyes darkening with every detail. There was a surprising gentleness in the way he handed her his jacket when she shivered. You deserve better than what he's done to you, Damien said finally. No one should live in fear. Amelia was startled by the compassion in his voice. It was hard to believe a man with such a fearsome reputation could speak with so much kindness. The danger returns. But Victor wasn't one to give up easily. The next day, Amelia received a chilling text. You can't hide from me. Damien noticed the fear in her eyes and asked to see the phone. After reading the message, his jaw tightened. No one threatens someone under my protection, he said, his voice low and dangerous. That was the moment Amelia realized that Damien, despite his world of crime and power, had his own code of honor. He promised to keep her safe, but it wouldn't be easy. Victor had connections too. Challenges they faced. 1. Victor's pursuit. Victor used his influence to track Amelia down, forcing Damien to constantly move her to safe houses. 2. The police investigation. Damien's rivals tipped off the police about his operations, making it dangerous for both of them to be seen in public. 3. Trust issues. Amelia struggled with trusting Damien's world, fearing she might be drawn into something darker. 4. Damien's past. He faced betrayal from within his own ranks, putting them both at risk. 5. Inner battles. Both Amelia and Damien had to confront their inner demons, her fear of being powerless again, and his guilt over the violent life he led. Love amidst the chaos. In the quiet moments, away from the chaos, Amelia began to see the man behind the legend. Damien wasn't just a mafia boss. He was a man scarred by loss, shaped by the choices he'd been forced to make to protect those he cared about. Slowly, trust blossomed between them. Damien taught Amelia how to stand up for herself, while she reminded him that he wasn't beyond redemption. The final confrontation. Victor eventually cornered them in an abandoned warehouse, determined to take Amelia back by force. But Damien was ready. In a tense standoff, Damien's men arrived just in time, overpowering Victor's hired thugs. When Victor lunged at Amelia, it was she who finally stood her ground. For the first time in years, she faced him without fear. "Stay away from me," she said firmly, her voice steady. "I'm not yours to control anymore." Victor was arrested soon after, and Amelia felt the heavy chains of her past finally break. A new beginning. Amelia chose to stay with Damien, not because she needed protection, but because she saw the man he could be when he wasn't defined by his past. Together, they decided to leave the shadows of Damien's empire behind and start anew. Their story became one of healing and second chances, proof that even in the darkest places, light can find a way in. Closing message for viewers. If you were moved by Amelia and Damien's journey, from fear to courage, from danger to love, tell us in the comments what part of their story touched your heart the most. Read if you believe in second chances and the power of kindness. Drop a glowing star, be kind always, in the comments below. Backhand index pointing right. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to our channel. Be kind always, for more powerful and emotional stories that inspire hope and courage.